judicial, not a Mason official. Temple head on a swivel, see rights are not civil. Jurisdiction challenge, railroaded acquittal. Ex parte, no trial, dismissal is artificial. Straw man is not a lawman, but ends legacy. In color of courts, more racket than tennis. Where colored man has no rights. And sick of this Moor thing, Jamal and Black Knight, Robin Hood and Zine, not Cornish but Moorish Americans stand on squares, surging adrenaline. Take notice, walk across with a fez on. Your favorite rapper has a dress on and leave press on. Take notice, you got hex and lost focus, while I see the thoughts behind my head like Jokic. Are you listening or under hypnosis? Is intelligence overpowered by your emotions? Take notice, crack team shots give blood clots, know what the Gen Z zombie culture. No Thanksgiving eating fat of turkey vultures. Never see slaves, only black and more sculptures. Take notice, chaos storms and swarms locusts. When affirming, no claps, hands, palms open. That man's with hugs, brotherly love, holy covenant. Take notice, Moorish government, unconscious Moors used to meet quotas. Chicago congressman won from the Moorish voters. Take notice, proclamation judicial, not a Mason official. Temple head on a swivel, see rights are not civil. Jurisdiction challenge, railroaded acquittal. Ex parte, no trial, dismissal is artificial. Straw man is not a lawman, but ends legacy. In color of courts, more racket than tennis. Where colored man has no rights. And sick of this Moor thing, Jamal and Black Knight, Robin Hood and Zine, not Cornish but Moorish Americans stand on squares, surging adrenaline. Take notice, walk across with a fez on. Your favorite rapper has a dress on and leave press on. Take notice, you got hex and lost focus, while I see the thoughts behind my head like Jokic. Are you listening or under hypnosis? Is intelligence overpowered by your emotions? Take notice, crack team shots give blood clots, know what the Gen Z zombie culture. No Thanksgiving eating fat of turkey vultures. Never see slaves, only black and more sculptures. Take notice, chaos storms and swarms locusts. When affirming, no claps, hands, palms open. That man's with hugs, brotherly love, holy covenant. Take notice, Moorish government, unconscious Moors used to meet quotas. Chicago congressman won from the Moorish voters. Elders took notice to what Drew Ali said. Oscar Bay next to the prophet, cause the priest is dead. Bay Anderson on his right, Moorish hijab. Right to bear arm, Moors might wear a niqab. Law and order mind, traders drawing quarter time. Cutting off hands and ears for committing a crime. Vegan beef with dirty Moors is not a family feud. Families fight, one's wrong, have perception skewed. Spiritual altitude, lower self-subdued. No sucrose drinks or European poison foods. Holistic verses, my foe is alkalines. Pastor only speaking tongues from altar wines. For treason they all face the firing line. Most bystander not preventing the crime. Society invites it, then rewrites it. If a battle can't be won, don't fight it. Not saying see corruption and be silent, be defiant. Never punish all the clever corporate tyrants. Take notice, politicians touch their own children. Yours get shot up and in the news for causing killings. Calling them black translates, still living in death. Trans march for rights with their BIPOC breath. Take notice, sex ed taught in daycare. False evidence appearing real is how you say fear. Claim you're woke but still, you're dead and sleeping. Can't you see you popping pills for the thrill seeking? Thinking they can fly, off balconies leaping. One space lift like weekend, too much competing. Trying to be someone else, won't be themselves. Skinny jeans got their manhood, short like elves. Weaves and eyelashes, puckering lips and tongues out. Should be enough to have dad's guns out. Take notice, we sit back and watch her happen. Using extensions, lap dancing devils while rapping. She's in every video twerking, ass slapping. Y'all are Victor and Dre and shot, dildo strapping. I see what they're trying, I took notice. I see their motives as they're bringing 12 roses. Bullets are used on blacks now, not fire hoses. Necrophiliacs and body before it decomposes. Take notice.
This is a hot machine. Hell's hot, but get cold with this winter. My earth takes a break, quake cities off the cliff, down deep sea into mountain, continental shift. The continent could drown or rip. There's more, think not. You don't know what I'm into, where I'm at. It's all in the mental, smack all instrumentals round me. It's all about my circle squared up on my nature. Fear not, love Brady, am I didn't make her. She made me to create the world, the home she in shape, her skin contained, afraid no minor. She a major win, angel and grew up educated on the demons, made me scaly wings, ranger paper bullshit, the mother come for that. Got nothing to pack, Negro black colored, on the chopping block, still on the block, chopping whatever they rap, rob, recover the chop, the world's shaking. Still my words, you take it in, hear me speaking out your ear holes. How can you retain a quote? Stop, your brains bang, shot, but still you won't crow. Commander in chief, masters turn sheep at the battle. And stay chattel to eat, and wolf for my white beats. At times a werewolf, they attack me and turn food for the garden. Water make a black sea. Black male, black coat, black blue. Black list, black ball, black shoes. Black male, black trees, black news. No such thing as black man. Black male, black coat, black blue. Black list, black ball, black shoes. Black male, black trees, black news. But no such thing as a black man. Roses all red, green, gun, copper shot, pop, bust, and he left and leave no weeds, no seeds. I'm his skull and his backbone ripped with his voice tone. Moms are saying a heartbeat, consanguinity though. Got some book bites, now I'm civil. I get you with my pen, no more dog fights or scribbles. Enforcing treaties, I'm a course you greedy. Dressed in costumes to greet me. You think you know how this gon' end, really? Show the beginning. Apocalypse now, the dead don't know about the living. And why I can't kill them, and why I try to lift them. Stand, more mass don't make you a bigger man. It's mental. Just keep falling. Black male, black coat, black blue. Black face, black ball, black shoes. Black male, black trees, black news. No such thing as black man. Black male, black coat, black blue. Black list, black ball, black shoes. Black male, black trees, black news. But no such thing as a black man. Here we go. Raka! North Star! That way, the rest of us that way, Canaanland moves. Read off, we pay every day. Uplift the V, cause we all pays. We enforce the law, and we obey. Forefathers from before and still today. Reading my Quran and my Torah. Universal laws in more rays. Read 4 chapters, receive it 4 ways. Great divine love rules our verse. Before I circle blocks, man, I circle 7s first. You bust the image, but your rhymes hurt. Declare 13 disrespected earth. Love, but it's all in God's plan. Today's mathematics don't judge a man. Unity of life, embodiment of truth. I'm responsible for every deed, cause I seen the proof. No, but Drew X, do have to draw it out for you, cause nationality is not a color I can use.
Jerry Spruce, standing on my prayer, even without shoes, under high authority, spirit of blue. Marcus Coffee, whirlwind times 2. The world's in the wind when the trumpet blew.
Stand up, go into your bathroom. If you got a big floor to ceiling, cut the light on and stand and take a good hard look at yourself. You are the worst government. You know, and it took me a long time to understand that concept. I self-law am master. If I can govern myself, if I can govern my household, that's what I should be doing. Why should I walk out of my door and then leave everything that I know about myself in the house to go out and adopt something that I have no knowledge thereof? It makes no sense. So we need to stop asking that question. I ask myself this question: if not me, then who?
Death and wisdom, my friends, intelligent creatures, guardians of sacred knowledge, Olmec features, secrets of the afterlife, manifest the present day. Dirty Moors and scoundrels lose their heads in a pleasant way. Deceit and deception, negative past thoughts, keeps awareness on point. Spirit messages never off. Inner realizations, encounter the higher selves. Next plane existence explains my consistence. Without a foe, you never know, so paths most resistant. Divinity, my twin flame, side chick and mistress, metaphysic, Kabbalistic, Almaroc mystic, patriarch, papistics, make my thoughts sadistic, so indigenous, call me Americanistic, invoking the ancestors, Saracen cryptic, suns on rotation, flows eclectic, shatter all illusions, reveal the realistic, sitting in the dark, holding the light marvelous, recognize the artifice, skin so carbonous, hair so antenna, I feel them from Vienna, myriad of virtues, lessons, and reptilian henna. Enlightenment seekers won't find it in mainstream. Focus as a laser, stay balanced like a beam. Not even a gymnast. Whenever I flip this, as above, so below, get out when within this. Don't think I'm a slave cause I speak in English. Drew Ali the water, watch your flames get extinguished. Living in your higher, lower self is relinquished. Reputation of master teachers, call it distinguished.
Common sense was made before book sense. Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick.
Legendary, bury me in the North Gate Cemetery, February the 4th day. Son of Mary, day ahead of my born day. Independence and law makes it a little of a lost case. With case laws, we break them down like Jericho. Keeping all my lions tamed, I'm Chris Jericho. I'll keep a mask on deck, I'm Rey Mysterio. Fake pandemics announced over the radio. Annoyed with the game, the joys and the pains. I'm rock face, mix it with rock the hard way. I was in the lost state. Prophets told me upright, brought me to a lost state. Cooking like I'm Scarface, rapping like I'm Denzel. Malcolm X, Deja Vu, Roman J. Israel. Had no Barley in plain sight, but people still can't see it. So the snake's still showing up, stakes still high, so the race still going up. Warriors of the North Gate, we not slowing up. Born in the major, sworn to be savior. Walk through the valley of the shadows of the death, different slavery. Looking for light, the book of Genesis. Astro plane entrances, invoke the nemesis. Abstract images of past lives kicking in. Danger, running for your life, finishing.
Morris Omar, key man oracle, using trinity powers, decipher allegorical, lost and metaphorical, holy books are metaphysic, facts like a dirty Moor or a Drew Ali Craig, calling him Thomas or Walter and get your face caved, or cut like a close shave, drowned in my brainwaves, squash my heat waves, activating Kundalini, Abyssinia invaded by ceiling. Selassie, I in exile. Reptile in Genesis, niggas appearing real. All I see is false evidence. VAR feminists, stomped on by elephants. More like no prejudice, but want Moorish benefits. When you feel the full magnetic resonance. Apis horns of the sacred book, all maleficent. Great cosmic mothers, return to blessedness, no pestilence. Ace all the testaments. Tap into remembrance, never to forget again. Use energy right, not put spell effects on men. Wandering the earth plane with no veil of shades. Keeps you a mental slave as the horizon fades. It's been decades since Christian crusades. Not enough rebellions, too many vigil bouquets. Holding on to the fence, burning on doomsday. War ruled by Mars, it might be on a Tuesday.
Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense and Wiki. What we do here is we add some common sense thinking to everyday situations or comments that may arise. Want to give it a try?
Islam to all Moors worldwide. Peace and love to all the Moors. For the music, you can go to willofalah.com or you can go to khalifamedia.com. Either one, doesn't matter. All of it's serving the same cause. Letting people know something that they probably never knew. Because we're Moors. We're not dumb Negroes. And the and the Hellfire, the one that you just listened to, the last one, you could just email Conway Stevens with a K and Stevens with a V at gmail.com for this one right here. Hellfire. And as you heard, it was Hellfire. Wasn't a game. To honest all the Moors worldwide, honest all the Moors who know that they're Moors and who don't play games with these people. The amount of games that these people play, the amount of games these people play. Let me show you what games these people play. These people try to pull game, huh? They really try to pull game. You want to pull game for real? You really try to play with Moors? We know that you're used to the temple Moors and those guys, the religious guys. We know you're used to them. You're not used to Moors telling you to go suck yourself. Who you think you are? You're not used to that, huh? We know you're not used to it. Because you've been trained. You've been trained to have linear thinking instead of cyclical thinking. Because you're trained linear, we're your dead end. That you're gonna have to turn back and go where the hell you came from. We're your dead end. All the BS stops with Canaanland Moors. And only the realists feel this. If you want traders and sellouts, just like Drew Ali said, you want European Grand Sheiks, I'll give them to you. No worries. Or you want traders and sellouts? Don't worry. We'll point them out. We'll point them all out. And you guys can go follow them into the pits of oblivion. These sellouts and traders think they're pulling off something.
The afterlife, not a physical man that walked around with the Ptolemies. This is the Met Inu mentioned right here in the book of the Amduat. Now, the reason why the Moors took the word Methinu is because they took information from what's called the Aquarian Gospel. It's in the Aquarian Gospel where this man Levi, and we're going to go right here. Levi, see, here's the Aquarian Gospel of Christ. Levi H. Dowling. This is in 1908. Do you see that? 1908, before Noble Drew Ali. In this Aquarian Gospel is where you find the word Methino, it was a misspelling by this Jew, this white Jew man, who misspelled because he mistaken and misspelled the word of an actual scribe priest in the time of the Ptolemies, who had one of the kings list, and his name.
Oh yeah, he just said priest right there. Right? He just brought up priests. Right? Noble Drew Ali said, no one else said this. Only Noble Drew Ali said this is divine first. Noble Drew Ali is the only one that said, take heed to what I say, because what I say is spiritual. This is not what you really are hearing. There's something deeper there than what you're hearing with your senses. People who study know this. So why they would talk against Noble Drew Ali, they have to be a traitor and a sellout. Metaphysical meaning of priests. Priests. Metaphysically, ideas of priestly authority and the religious guidance of the intellect. The priests and Levites represent our so-called natural religious tendencies. These officiate in the rites and ceremonies of the tent or tabernacle. And when the more permanent structure temple is built, they bring up all the holy vessels from the tent or tabernacle. What does that have to do with Noble Drew Ali? He had nothing to do with religious. Yeah, well, they're a religious corporation. And so what, he had a religious corporation? I don't know where you're going with this religious thing. You're just like these people with the vaccine stuff. Just like these people with the crack scene. Just like them. You're only exempt because of some religious whatever. What religious whatever? What do you mean religious exemption to not get held down and injected by the mad scientists? Why must I get injected by the mad scientists? Why? Just give me a reason. Oh, because there's something. Well, I've been around here for the past year and I personally never caught anything. I've been some places without a mask. I've been some places with a mask. So if I haven't caught anything, obviously I'm no threat to you. Obviously, with regard to this thing, I ain't no threat. I'm nobody. I never caught anything. So what are you looking at me about? Get something. Get what? I never caught anything in a year. That this thing's been going around, killing people all over the place. People dying. Oh my God, it's a pandemic. People, the bodies piling up. They got to bring the trucks out to bring. Oh yeah? Who said? Where you see that at? Oh, newspapers. Oh, TV news. Oh. So you didn't go outside to check if there was meteors? You just closed the drapes and just sat in the fetal position? That's all you did? You didn't look outside once to say, hold on a second, there's no meteors coming down. I thought they said a meteor shower and all this. What the hell is going on? And then get so pissed off that you do something about it because these people played you for a year out of your job, people committing suicide, people under depression, people, all types of madness going on because of this thing right now. And these people are coming about debating about Noble Drew Ali said something, Noble Drew Ali, whatever. Actually, matter of fact, how come, right? That's really interesting. There's something going on here that we have to check, right? Now he's talking BS about Noble Drew Ali and all this, right? But how come Killer Priest, who's his boy, how come Killer Priest is talking about Land of Nod and Noble Drew Ali and Master Fard in his track. But this AmunHotep, Ra, whoever is not debating Killer Priest. How come he's not talking BS to Killer Priest about Noble Drew Ali? How come he's not telling him that that song sucks because he mentioned Noble Drew Ali in the song, and Noble Drew Ali took from the Aquarian Gospel, so that means that song's supposed to suck then? Because you're saying Noble Drew Ali sucks because he copied off the Aquarian Gospel. All right, well, Killer Priest mentioned Noble Drew Ali in a song in a positive light, not in a negative. And Killer Priest is your boy. So what are you going to say? You're supposed to say that that song sucks because we're doing our presentation to show people that Noble Drew Ali copied from this European guy, Levi Dowling, who made an Aquarian Gospel or whatever. Noble Drew Ali copied him. And because he copied him, that means he's a fraud. Well, have you read the Aquarian Gospel to see what's in there? Matter of fact, let's see what's wrong with the Aquarian Gospel. Let's see what's wrong. Let's just see what's wrong. Because they're talking about Aquarian Gospel as if it's some type of negative thing. Why are they trying to make it sound like it's a negative thing? Now, whether these people were actual people that walked on the planet, or whether these people are absolute fiction and they never existed, and Levi Dowling and Noble Drew Ali made this stuff out of a thin air, there's no proof for anything. Let's read something in it and base our decision on what it says, not what you heard somebody over there try to convince you not even to read the book. Because maybe if you read the book, Aquarian Gospel might be putting you on some game that none of these nigger leaders ever gave you. All the stuff that you're complaining about could be solved with the Aquarian Gospel. But you want to be a dumb nigger. All right, no problem. Well, let's read the Aquarian Gospel. We'll call it Holy Quran of the Moor Science Temple of America. We'll call it that, but it's the Aquarian Gospel. So let's see what is said here. What time is it? 6:39. Interesting. Okay, sure. 6:39. So we'll do 6. Chapter 6. Life and works of Jesus in India among the Muslims. A royal prince of India, Ravana in the south, was met at the Jewish feast. Ravana was a man of wealth, and he was just, and with a band of Brahmic priests sought wisdom in the west. When Jesus stood among the Jewish priests and read and spoke, Ravana heard and was amazed. And when he asked who Jesus was, from whence he came, and what he was, Chief Hillel said, "We call this the day star from on high, for he has come to bring to men a light, the light of life, to lighten up the way of men and redeem his people of Israel." The Hillel told Ravana all about the child, about the prophecies concerning him, about the wonders of the night when he was born, about the visit Magian priests about the way in which he was protected from the wrath of evil men, about his flight to Egypt land, and how he then was serving with his father as a carpenter in Nazareth. Ravana was entranced and asked to know the way to Nazareth, that he might go and honor such one, a son of Allah. And with all his gorgeous train he journeyed and came to Nazareth of Galilee. He found the object of his search engaged in building dwelling for the sons of men. And when he first saw Jesus, he was climbing up a 12-step ladder, and he carried in his hands a compass, square, and axe. Ravana said, "All hail, most favored son of heaven." And at the inn, Ravana made a feast for all the people of the town, and Jesus and his parents were the honored guests. For certain days, Ravana was a guest in Joseph's home on Marmion Way. He sought to learn the secret of the wisdom of the sun, but it was all too great for him. And then he asked what he might be. He asked that he might be the platform of the child, might take him to the east, where he could learn the wisdom of the Brahms. And Jesus longed to go, that he might learn, and after many days his parents gave consent. Then, with proud heart, Ravana with his train began to journey toward the rising sun. And after many days, they crossed the sand and reached the provinces of Orissa and the palace of the prince. The Brahmic priests were glad to welcome home the prince. With favor, they received the Jewish boy. And Jesus was accepted as a pupil in the temple of Jagannath. And here he learned the Vedas and the Manic law. The Brahmic masters wondered at the clear conceptions of the child, and often were amazed when he explained to them the meaning of the law. Now, what negative did you get from that? What negative? You got anything negative from there? Nothing? Okay, let's try 3 now. Nothing negative, huh? Okay. It's interesting you got nothing there because they're making it sound like Aquarian gospel is some devil's work or something like that. But if you never read it, you would never know. And why do they play this game? Because they know niggers don't read. Especially now, if they have a screen in their hand, they definitely don't read now. Because they think off the screen is reading. That's not reading. You need stone or pages to read. It's not reading. Chapter 3, Elihu's lessons, the unity of life. Again, Elihu met his peoples. Remember, all these are fake people and all that stuff. None of these people exist, right? These people are a fiction. All of this is fiction right now. But you tell me if you don't hear some nonfiction in here. We already read 6. And Ravana was pretty excited to know who the hell Jesus was. I'm playing BS. Well, they know well or anything. Yo, bring out all the thing, bring out the best stuff. We're going to honor him and his parents tonight. I'll pay for everything. For him, he must be somebody. He's not dumb nigger, is he? Chapter 3. Elihu's lessons, the unity of life. Again, Elihu met his pupils in the sacred grove and said, no man live unto himself, for every living thing is bound by cords to every other living thing. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will love and not demand love in return. They will not do to other men what they would not have other men do unto them. There are two selves, the higher self and lower self. The higher self is human spirit clothed with soul, made in form of Allah. The lower self, the carnal self, the body of desires, is a reflection of higher self, distorted by the murky ethers of the flesh. The lower self is an illusion and will pass away. The higher self is Allah in man and will not pass away. The higher self is the embodiment of truth. The lower self is truth reversed, and so is falsehood manifest. The higher self is justice, mercy, love, and right. The lower self is what the higher self is not. The lower self breeds hatred, slander, lewdness, murders, theft, and everything that harms. The higher self is mother of the virtues and the harmonies of life. The lower self, oh yeah, and for all these fake symbols or whatever talking crazy about Noble Drew Ali didn't speak about matriarch, here it is again for you, talking crazy. The boy, he doesn't honor mother. The lower self breeds hatred. Same thing that they're showing, snitching on our channel and all that stuff. That's hatred. Slander, lying on Noble Drew Ali, calling him a pedophile and all that stuff. Right? Lewdness, murders, theft, and everything that harms. Right? Gonna go in the back, try to do some rituals, cut off the goat head. The poor goat is gonna have to suffer because your dumbass wants to try to do some rituals to try to stop something that Allah ordained. Not stopping what Allah wants manifests. We're not doing no Moorish American prayer to Obatala and all that stuff. Allah. That's what it is. Arm, leg, arm, head. Ain't no fiction that we're looking at except this fiction right here in the Aquarian Gospel. You know the fiction that we're dealing with. The lower self breeds hatred, slander, lewdness, murders, theft, and everything that harms. The higher self is mother of the virtues and the harmonies of life. The lower self is rich in promises, but poor in blessedness and peace. It offers pleasure, joy, and satisfying gain, but gives unrest, misery, and death. All these traders are miserable right now. They're so miserable. I don't know why they just don't go in a corner or go jump off a bridge or do something. Just take yourself out of here, because you're not going to stop Moors from being Moors. You failed your mission, agent, and you keep failing your mission because there's Moors out here who they know about their nationality and birthrights, and they know that you ain't taking that stuff from them. Doesn't matter what. You're not doing it, period. That's just how some Moors are. You're not getting their stuff. You might be able to get these other Moors stuff. You're not getting my stuff. I'm not gonna play your little games and stuff like that. Like straight and narrow. You already know what's up. You already know what's up. Stop playing games. But you're not gonna go debate your boy, Killer Priest, even though he said the same color as the tribe chained on the slave ships. Not only but fiction guy. How is fiction guy talking? How is fiction guy saying anything about anything? Shouldn't be talking. Because the wisdom teachings or the mysteries of Egypt, which the Greeks call Sophia, the Moors were the ones who were preserving that when Egypt fell. So anybody talking about Amun, whatever, that's who they are, they're lying. There's no ancient Egypt right now. Dusty ass pyramids, like Dick Gregory said. There's nothing there. People don't even live there. Sand just blowing through the chambers, the catacombs. The Moors were the custodians of the Egyptian culture because there was no more Egypt. But no, they're Egyptian. They're bringing back some hieroglyphs. No, you're not. Stop the BS. You know, ancient Kemet, ancient Egypt and all that. Stop the dumb stuff. Egypt fell. Ain't no ancient Egyptians right now. Stop playing games. You're Moors. What you mean? The Hammatites, Hittites, and everybody who got together and then they left because of the. What do you think? What do you think's going on? We're all Moors. Why is that rocket science? No. They want to make names for themselves. They want to be somebody. They want to be somebody. Why do they want to be somebody? Why don't they go debate Killer Priest on his platform because he's talking about cats that poke, young cats that wrap up the hopeless and poor man's dream, Moorish king? Why is he Moorish king? Why is Killer Priest a Moorish king and Amun fake Egyptian whoever and all these other fake Egyptians? When Egypt fell, what are you talking about? You're Moors. You got absorbed into the empire. Stop it. The Moors are the custodians of ancient Kemetic culture. We all know this. Why are you trying to deny George G.M. James now? Why are you denying it now? In the 8th century AD, the Moors, i.e. natives of Mauritania in North Africa, invaded Spain and took with them the Egyptian culture which they had preserved. What do you mean which they have? What are you preserving stuff for? I have a glass of preserved whatever. If they're preserving it, it means they're keeping it from going out of existence. The Moors are doing that. Whoever the Moors are. Well, the natives of Mauritania. All right. And they took this thing all over the world, 8th century, giving people, making them taste stuff they never tasted in their life because of Moors. Seeing animals they never seen in their life because of Moors. Because everything after 8th century AD was Moorish rule all over the planet. Stop playing games. There was no ancient Egypt in the 8th century. Everything was Moorish rule. That's why it's Moor everywhere. But you people want to play games. These people want to play. These people want to play. These people want to play as if they're not Moors. How they're not Moors? And all you jokers, you're quick to push the live. You go on the Indian stuff, you push the thing. Go on there, talk BS. Right? Kwame Brown go live, you're gonna try to get on that. All these goofs go live, you're trying to get on that. So we go live, nobody wants to push the button. They just want to talk BS in the chat. People are playing you. And you're the one getting played. All right. Moors who study, we already got our birthright. We already have our birthright. Right. The other thing too is the metaphysical meaning of Jesus. Since they want to play like the Aquarian gospel is something negative. And when Noble Drew Ali copied that, but he said Jesus like the Aquarian gospel said Jesus. Let's see what Jesus means. Because again, if you listen to these idiots and not read the book yourself, then you're going to miss the message. Because Noble Drew Ali taught us that man knows not by being told. Man knows not by being told. Man knows by go study. Stop playing around in chats. Metaphysical meaning of Jesus. The I in man, the self, the directive power, raised to divine understanding and power, the I am. And then remember that that's Islam. SL missing. I am identity. This is how advanced Drew Ali was beyond these people's stuff. Everything got checkmated. No one could present anything that doesn't tie back to the Moors. Because if the I am is the identity, like the actual identity of the being, and Noble Drew Ali said Islam, that's I, self, law, am, master, and then am, master. Jesus represents God, idea of man in expression. Christ is that idea in the absolute. Jesus Christ was the type man, which includes all the mental phases through which man passes in demonstrating life's problems. So we find Jesus Christ passing through all the rituals, temptations, and mental variations of each of us, yet without sin. That is, not falling under the dominion of evil thoughts. The experiences of each individual are, in miniature, the experiences of all. We may put the new man, that is, bring forth Jesus Christ in ourselves. First, we must put away the old man of error and limitation through denial of his reality. The second step is to accept the truth of our being in faith, then through understanding to begin diligently to live truth in thought, word, and deed. The Christ is the man that God created, the perfect idea man, and is the real self of all men. Jesus Christ is this Christ self brought forth into perfect expression and manifestation. Jesus, the man of Nazareth, demonstrated that his attainment is possible to man, and as a consequence, he is the type man. We are exhorted to have his mind in you, which was also in Jesus Christ, in Christ Jesus, which implies that all may demonstrate as he did. To make this attainment requires careful training of the thoughts. The mind that was in Christ Jesus was the mind of God. So we know that we must be perfect even as Father in heaven is perfect. This seems an almost superhuman attainment, and so is it. So it is. The human has to be put away and the divine established in its place. The human is transient and fallible. The divine is permanent and infallible. And you could do your own research on the metaphysical meaning of Jesus, which, is going to be pages and 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 pages. Just because. baratabarati.in Voices of Indian Awakening. Jesus in India. With hindsight, we can say that this partial incorporation of Christian elements was the most effective defense of Hinduism against the lure of Christian conversion campaigns under circumstances of Christian colonial dominance. Rather than confronting Christianity, this approach neutralized its appeal by understanding Jesus in Hindu terms as a spiritual teacher, venerable, yet only one among many, not as a unique savior. By giving Jesus a place, it made the acceptance of the full doctrinal package of Christianity seem superfluous. Instead, modern Hindus, including Mahatma Gandhi, started evaluating all religions as roughly equivalent paths leading to the same goal. Most of them don't realize that this idea is not welcomed, but rather abhorred by Orthodox Christianity. The incorporation of Jesus in Indian spiritual tradition was given a more concrete shape in the belief that Jesus learned his trade in India before going on to an eventful preaching tour in Palestine, whence he returned to stay and breathe his last in Kashmir at the ripe age of 115. This claim of Jesus' sojourn among Indian yogis
is frequently heard among Hindus, Theosophists, and some South Asian Muslims, and even since Indian spirituality is intentionally often identified as its Buddhist variant among Buddhists from Japan to California. So everybody's out here honoring Jesus, right? Moors honor Jesus, and people debating more. So how come you're not debating the Hindus? How come you're not doing videos about them and how much of a fraud they are? But you want to mess around with our prophet and play games with our prophet. Right? Of course you're going to play around with our prophet because that's your own. And we already know that the prophets always get it from their own. Always get it from their own. Never forget it. Always. Honors to all the Moors worldwide. FOH to all the haters. All the haters. You realize he didn't have the guts to push the button, as usual. As usual. Honors to all the mothers. Yeah. Keep killing them. Just keep killing them in the chat. Just keep killing them. You know, eventually a kick is gonna get them good. Just keep kicking. Just keep kicking. Don't even ease up. Keep kicking them. Right there. Right there. Just go say sorry so you could go home. That's all you have to do. Just say sorry. Say sorry for being a Moor. I'm sorry for wanting to be a Moor. I thought you would be down with it. Since you're not down with it, I can't look at me without you. Look at me. I'm just online talking crazy. I need you back. That's all you have to do, Cliff. It's okay. Juali gave you permission to go back to nigger. Juali gave you permission, so you don't have to feel bad. You know. Because I knew something was up when she walked across the screen while you were talking. Like, why is she walking across the screen while he's talking? That's rude. That's so rude. But now we know why. She hated being there. Check out this Moorish crap. He's bringing me to this Moorish crap. I'm even at this Moorish crap. I'll just pretend like I'm interested. But after this, I'm done. No, you're coming in our chat instead of just going and saying sorry. Matter of fact, you should go call that fake Sybil, Madame whatever. You should go call her. You and her would be perfect together. You and her would be perfect. That's who you should go get with. You guys are two nut jobs. Perfect together. It has to be perfect. Honors to all the Moors worldwide. Honors to all the Moors, especially the studious Moors. The Moors who study, 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 and know that none of these people's slander is gonna divert them from their prophet and the message that he brought. Honors to all the Moors. Oh yeah, we forgot. Shit, forgot. We gotta finish the ritual. Chapter 9. Forgot I almost didn't finish the ritual. Oh my gosh, that was crazy. Whew. Whoever put that one out there, appreciate it. Message received. So the 639, so the 9th chapter of the Aquarian Gospel, just so we could be sure that this is, you know, some crazy stuff that we shouldn't be listening to. Jesus attends a feast in Bahar, and here he taught human equality. Remember, all these people are fiction or whatever. These people aren't real, right? Remember, they're not real. The fame of Jesus as a teacher spread through all the land, and people came from near and far to hear his words of truth. At Bahar, on the sacred river of the Brahms, he taught for many days. And Ak, a wealthy man of Bahar, made a feast in honor of his guest, and he invited everyone to come. And many came, among them thieves, extortioners, and courtesans. And Jesus sat with them and taught. But they who followed him were much aggrieved, because he sat with thieves and courtesans. And they upbraided him. He said, Rabboni, master of the wise, this day will be an evil day for you. The news will spread that you consort with courtesans, and men will shun you as they shun an asp. And Jesus answered them and said, a master never screens himself for the sake of reputation or fame. These are but worthless baubles of the day. They arise and sink like empty bottles on a stream. They are illusions and will pass away. They are the indices and what the thoughtless think. They are noise that people make, and shallow men judge merit by noise. Allah and all master men judge men by what they are and not what they seem to be, not by their reputation and their fame. These courtesans and thieves are children of my Father Allah, and their souls are just as precious in his sight as yours, or the Brahmic priests. And they are working out the same life sums that you have solved, you men who look at them with scorn. And some of them have solved much harder than you, and have solved, you men who look at them with scorn. Yes, they are sinners, and confess their guilt, while you are guilty, but are shrewd enough to have a polished coat to cover up your guilt. Talking about you people in the chat. You TV people. Talking about you. Yes, they are sinners and confess their guilt, while you, TV people, are guilty, but are shrewd enough to have a polished coat to cover up your guilt. Suppose you men who scorn the courtesans, these drunkards and these thieves, who know that you are pure in heart and life, that you are better far than they, stand forth that men know just who you are. Push the button. Let us know who you are. Right? Push the button. The sin lies in the wish, in the desire, not in the act. The sin lies in the wish, in the desire, not in the act. You covet other people's wealth. You look at charming forms, and deep within your heart you lust for them. Deceit you practice every day, and wish for gold, for honor and fame, just for your selfish selves. All you sellouts and traitors, y'all is who they're talking about. Y'all. You backbiters and you two-faced jokers that do nothing for the nation. All you do is wish for gold, for honor, and for fame, just for your selfish self to be somebody. The man who covets is a thief, and she who lusts is a courtesan. You who are none of these, speak out. Nobody spoke. The accusers held their peace. And Jesus said, the proof this day is all against those who have accused. The pure in heart do not accuse. The vile in heart, who want to cover up their guilt with holy smoke of piety, are never loathing drunkards, thieves, and courtesans. This loathing and this scorn is mockery. For if the tinsel coat of reputation could be torn away, the loud professor would be found to reveal in his lust deceit and many forms of secret sin. The man who spends his time in pulling other people's weeds can have no time in pulling his own. And all the choicest flowers of life will be choked and die, and nothing will remain but darnel, thistles, and burrs. That's what you got right now, right? That's what you got right now. No master teachers. Just thistles and burrs of idiots claiming that they have knowledge. 5,000 people out there trying to sell you a package. 20,000 people out there trying to get you into some crypto. 50,000 people out there trying to get you to buy these papers. 70% people out there telling you you have nowhere to turn without getting played. You have nowhere to turn without getting played. I don't think my loud voice and us laughing and stuff like that is that we're the loud professor. We're not a loud professor. Because we're not out here trying to be any fame and or whatever. It has nothing to do with that. It's putting out some information and no withdrawals so people know what's up. Because obviously they don't know. Look at their conditions. And Jesus spoke a parable. He said, behold, a farmer had great fields of ripened grain. And when he looked, he saw the blades of many stalks of wheat were bent and broken down. And when he sent his reapers forth, he said, we will not save the stalks of wheat that have been broken blades. Go forth and cut and burn the stakes with broken blades. And after many days he went to measure up his grain, but not a kernel could he find. And then he called the harvesters and said to them, where is my grain? They answered him and said, we did according to your word. We gathered up and burned the stalks with broken blades, and not a stalk was left to carry to the barn. And Jesus said, if Allah saves only those who have broken blades, who have been perfected in his sight, who will be saved? And the accusers hung their heads in shame, and Jesus went his way. So hang yourself in shame. because they no stopping this. You failed your mission. So go back to the state where they found you. Honors to all the Moors, honors to all mothers, Islam, peace and love, honors to the Prophet.
Earthgate, H2O flow, Sheik, Canaanland, Moor, Release Fall, Shalon Davis, salute. Check it. They say they wanna learn, they only debate. Referencing the truth, trust me, they only sound the great. Study nationality before you question my estate. I'm not a minority, why you so late? Majority rules, here comes the test fact. That's my hand in the form of a V on the chest. That's a womb that is blessed like a moon and a crest. Major forever, infinite mindset. Major from birth, that's a seed in process. I'm a Moor, that is easy to digest. Competent, never pterodilious. That is my land, never vacant. Sacred traditions, petitions for what you're not Jamaican. Westmoreland, support more. Everybody needs more. If you please more, following the Apostle Bishop Before, I see the unseen more before. More, that's a fact. Canaanland.
They say they want to learn, complain classes are too long. Don't want it on a phone call, energy too strong. Get it from the wrong source, now they way off course. Think they must be Muslim and give up on all sports. Should give up the red meat, must give up on all porks. Won't be yelling haram when the bottles are uncorked. Eating with the spoon, use forks for tuning. Eating humble pie, no ego ballooning. Samson, 2 caterpillars, got him cocooning as the full moon hung spiral, energy moving up through the crown chakra, energy shooting. And told me upload classes before live YouTubing. 16,000 subscribers, 20% consuming, 80% troll pretending to be tuned in. Comment on every video, pushing the thumbs down. We'll push the link when we live, just like a clown. Pouring in the incompetence, always debating. Dissing True Ali, but won't give their location. His image on the black banner, that's vacation.
Earthgate, H2O flow, Sheik, Canaanland, Moor, Release Fall, Shalon Davis, salute. Check it. They say they wanna learn, they only debate. Referencing the truth, trust me, they only sound great. Study nationality before you question my estate. I'm not a minority, why you so late? Majority rules, here comes the test fact. That's my hand in the form of a V on the chest. That's a womb that is blessed like a moon and a crest. Major forever, infinite mindset. Major from birth, that's a seed in process. I'm a Moor, that is easy to digest. Competent, never pterodilious. That is my land, never vacant. Sacred traditions, petitions for what you're not Jamaican. Westmoreland, support more. Everybody needs more. If you please more, following the Apostle Bishop Before, I see the unseen more before. More, that's a fact. Canaanland.
They say they want to learn, complain classes are too long. Don't want it on a phone call, energy too strong. Get it from the wrong source, now they way off course. Think they must be Muslim and give up on all sports. Should give up the red meat, must give up on all porks. Won't be yelling haram when the bottles are uncorked. Eating with the spoon, use forks for tuning. Eating humble pie, no ego ballooning. Samson, 2 caterpillars, got him cocooning as the full moon hung spiral, energy moving up through the crown chakra, energy shooting. And told me upload classes before live YouTubing. 16,000 subscribers, 20% consuming, 80% troll pretending to be tuned in. Comment on every video, pushing the thumbs down. We'll push the link when we live, just like a clown. Pouring in the incompetence, always debating. Dissing True Ali, but won't won't give their location. His image on the black banner, that's placation. Just get him out of here, Yusuf yells in frustration. We know they're playing games, we're not berating. Calling AmunHotep, scimitars penetrated. In defense of prophets and mothers abused. And newly awakened Moors, amused and confused.
Where you murdering the beat? Red flag, wave it. Red tag, save it. Red green, what that means? Morris Lands, Bourbon. Who got claimed Elbig? Not the name MJ. Lushy green was the parcel, all pristine and so awful. Know thyself, the father from my eye capstone. Rip the ground, we put it back to top. See some real engineering, really no engineering. Blackstone from the next. Where you murdering the beat? Red flag, wave it. Red tag, save it. Red green, what that means? Morris Lands, Bourbon. Who got claimed Elbig? Not the name MJ. Lushy green was the parcel, all pristine and so awful. Know thyself, the father from my eye capstone. Rip the ground, we put it back to top. See some real engineering, really no engineering. Blackstone from the next planet. Still you have no talk, just a stick faggot. Batman still up in the cave, he got some sick gadgets. Nigga rich run a whole city with no power to the apocalypse now. In the door coward. Red flag make a 7 as it rains. A flag above many that is waved. Self from here to save. I'm an all-neck, got a lot of lip, chopped up to say back up. You see the red flag waving, red tag saving, red green, what I mean, Morris Land, Bourbon. Who got claimed Elbig? Not the name MJ. Lushy green was the parcel, all pristine and so all. Red flag waving, red tag saving, red green, what I mean, Morris Land, Bourbon. Who got claimed Elbig? Not the name MJ. Lushy green was the parcel, I'm obscene, some chords.
Our value representation, this flag represents a nation. Collecting information, tracing our roots, not chasing, pacing our progress. Doing more, saying less. Black, white, gray, MSF, RBG in our breath. The depth of what we do is best presented by how we grew. What's true is ill, the beholder to answers question over. Some call it closure, I prefer to say we open since we're still scoping for knowledge and others now awoken. Hoping little to not prefer work, plan, plot, strategize to maximize the probability. We sock caught between honor and a small place. The decisions that we make, ripple effects, minor or great, still I appreciate.
Red flag waving, red tag saving, red green, what I mean, Morris Land, Bourbon. Who got claimed Elbig? Not the name MJ. Lushy green was the parcel, all pristine and so all. Red flag waving, red tag saving, red green, what that mean, Morris Land, Bourbon. Who got claimed Elbig? Not the name MJ. Lushy green was the parcel, I'm obscene, some chords.
50,000-year-old ancestral claiming, flag in the ground, hear the flapping fabric sound. Red for the bloodshed of celestial realms. When all you see is feathers and turbans, be overwhelmed. Standing on the squares, independent and fearless. From lower self to higher self, with no interference. 5-point star is her. We call her Venus. My niggas are Nagas. Impropriate persona genius. In 3, 5, or 7 plus. Whenever you see us, Moorish national disciples, Prophet Ali and Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Confucius. The same frequencies preceding all man-made religions. Display decency. Secret teaching of the ages. The heart is where the life is. Osiris is Orion, Horus, Mars, Sirius, Isis. Clear conceptions of your work during a crisis. Rep my flag till I'm dust or the husk is lifeless. Rep my flag, red, green, 5-point star, no gold fringes. Stand on my square, no liberty infringes. No rights violated, no Negroes emancipated. All they know is castrated and decapitated. Red flag. 5-point star. How far we are.
Red flag waving, red tax saving, red green, what I mean, orange land urban. Who got claim Elvin, not the name MJ. Lucky Green was the boss who overseen and support. Red flag waving, red tax saving, red green, what I mean, orange land urban. We got claim Elvin, not the name MJ. Lucky Green was the boss, some obscene, some cordial toxic.
This that new batch.
Telling you shit, the numbers though. I like counting, man. Like the counting stuff. Pro bono, publico, pro facto, pro indefenso. We that do things tramp on top of B-man. Sounds like an E-flat. Quattro, doors, ablaze with my circle. Involve my seat circle. Leans back, but not that high. I'm a beaver, not that fly. Bugging you, I'm not that kind. Look like a mean mug, what did I do? Try to relax, let your feet hover, fall off your path at the least structure. I didn't mean that, you said you needed intensive care. I got the weed back, cocked 10 bags of your head. You said you need that, with the tail, I brought the whole steed. Giddy up, wasn't funny, what you call money, bring the green back, but greed is always left intact. Papa, pro bono, at Malo, pro and defenso, pro falso.
Progress need no promo. Brainwashed by TV programs, no. Proclaim low self, project higher than rockets. Profound like fork tongues and sockets. Protection lacking, project in a direction away from blacking or be lacking. In a zombie procession, most profession keep you from progressing. Denying due processing. Prosecutor wants no impropria persona in full life for obia. Prodigal son, nautical, astronomical one. All pro, never implausible, cause probable. Proactive, not passive. Mind's captive, problem. Children angry and hyperactive. Needs more probiotic. Pro-black is pro-death. I'm pro-seeds and process. Pro-democracy, Moors keep me perplexed. Not hearing innocence, Kirkman Bay's Moors profess. Seeking no Moors in the back with no protest. Spiritual work is in progress.
Speaking pro is best, a point I emphasize, no stress. Meaning attend to what is or is to be, what's not less. Communications a test and verbally I express my progress and high probability for profit we opt to get. Opportunities that set our plots in check. To apply the domino effect, a story connects. More important than the past project, hence we document this step correct when we reflect. Plus self-respect to detect what's real and focus on growth. This is what it is and we use the theme of this verse, so take note. I proactively promote the quotes that I wrote when enlightened. Stimulating my state to be one more great from inciting. Affirmations that heighten implementation and writing. Healthy reminders inciting the calm and minded to fighting. Or more like a dance, the mental train. Know what I'm saying? Like Coach Nim said, it's all from the weak that complain.
Pro bono, publico, pro facto, pro indefenso.
Pro bono, progress need no promo. Brainwashed by TV programs, no.
Speaking pro is best, my progress project. I proactively promote the quotes that